On this episode, I'm going to have YouTube watch influencers from around the world give me their definition of what a luxury watch is, because there is not a universal definition that everyone can agree upon. So we're going to find out today whether or not the small sample size of watch YouTubers can agree on what a luxury watch is. I'm going to give you my definition, and then of course I'm going to poll you guys down below on this episode of
It's always time. We kind of want
Okay, so we take luxury watch and we break it down. We take luxury, which is subjective, and we take watch, which is very objective. And we combine them together and you get a very subjective definition.
So my idea of a luxury watch, I think the definition really boils down to what other people think of the watch. Basically, it's something that your peers think is expensive. So that'll depend on the region of the world that you're living in, kind of your social crowd. I think for me, as an American, I would say probably a luxury watch is around $2,000 and up. I think any of my friends, if they saw me wearing a $2,000 watch and they knew that it cost $2,000, they would view that as a luxury product. But again, I think the definition of a luxury watch is going to shift depending on, what your social circle is. I'm not saying that's a good thing or that's the right thing, but that's what I think a luxury watch objectively is.
Sure, we can define what a watch is, but defining luxury, I don't think it's possible, because luxury means something different to everybody.
Luxury is the great state of comfort and extravagant living, okay? So luxury can be whatever you want it to be. Do I feel like this Frederic Constant is luxury? Absolutely, but that's just according to my standards. Don't let somebody else dictate yours, okay? Peace.
So let's break down some of the arguments that people make in regards to what luxury is.
What is a luxury watch? That is a very good question. For me, the way that I look at it is that pretty much all watches are a luxury because they're not a necessity. You can't eat them, you can't drink them, you can't fuel your home with it, you can't drive it, you can't put it in your fuel tank. You buy one for whatever reason that you buy one, whether it be just because you like the way it looks or you want something to tell the time. It's not a necessity. Therefore, I think that to some extent all watches are a luxury. They're all luxury.
For instance, let's start off with complications. The most popular complication that people associate with luxury is the tourbillon. Now, I can debunk this very easily with one watch brand, and that is Sterling Original. Sterling Original produces a tourbillon watch. I don't think there's anyone out here that's watching this video right now that would consider Sterling even close to a luxury watch. I'm not knocking the brand. I think they make some pretty cool looking watches, but luxury is a far stretch of what Sterling really is. Precious metals. Now, yes, there are plenty of luxury watches that incorporate precious metals. But there are also a bunch of luxury watches that have absolutely no precious metals in it whatsoever. And I'm going to take a watch that is not even debatable, and this is the Omega Seamaster Planet Ocean. This watch, MSRP, is over $5,000. So even if you're that person that believes $1,000 or more, $5,000 or more, that's typically the benchmark that a lot of people agree on. So if we just look at it from that perspective, we would say that Omega Seamaster Planet Ocean, just based on that, is a luxury watch. With that being said, there's not any precious metals in this watch. So not all luxury watches have precious metals.
I think, if you're talking monetarily, I think $1,000 is probably the benchmark for a luxury watch on up. The sky's the limit. But I also believe it's a little bit budget dependent, because just to play off a little bit of what John Mayer is saying in some of his interviews, I think a luxury watch is different for each individual. I think when you're buying that watch, it's gotta be painful. You gotta say, oof, did I really just spend that much money on a watch? That's a luxury watch to me.
Precious stones. Again, there's a lot of brands. Bulova, for instance, they put authentic diamonds, which is a precious stone, on their watches. Okay? I've seen it on Invicta. I've seen it Movado. I've seen it on multiple brands. Okay, we can go on. Precious stones in and of themselves do not indicate a luxury watch. Sure, there are Rolexes out there, Audemars Piguets, Richard Mille's that have precious stones, but that precious stone does not make that a luxury watch. So that myth needs to be busted right here, right now. Because you could put precious stones on any watch, even from the factory, such as Bulova, for instance, puts diamonds on their bezels. Sometimes even on the dial. Doesn't make them a luxury watch.
What up, Average Joe Watch Reviews? What is a luxury watch? Is there smoke coming out of my ears? I'm not sure there is a definition. Technically, they're all luxury because we don't need them. I mean, you could say that anything with an unnecessarily high level of fit and finish is luxury, but where do you draw that line? Anything above a $20 Casio could be considered luxury by that definition, so I don't like that definition either. I guess if I had to put something to it, for me, it's when the prestige of the brand's name and their heritage become a significant part of the watch's value.
Limited production. Guys, Seiko makes limited productions. Invicta makes limited productions. Micro brands have limited productions. Limited productions don't make it a luxury watch. It just doesn't. Obtainable. Very subjective. This Omega Seamaster Planet Ocean was obtainable for me, may not be obtainable for you. Take Richard Mille, an Audemars Piguet. Not obtainable for me currently, but obtainable to a lot of other people out there. So very subjective, very subjective. Horology.
Average Joe, how are you doing, my friend? What does luxury mean to me? Well, luxury means I get something, but I don't need it. It's having something that is made so well that there is a price to pay for it. This could be because of the heritage of the brand, but luxury to me shouts refined, taken time with, very well made parts. I don't think I own anything else luxury in my house. Maybe the 80-inch plasma TV screen I got. Yeah, maybe that's luxury. I don't need that. But, yeah.
Just because it's old, or just because you're old, doesn't make you significant. Doesn't make you luxurious. Just because something's old doesn't make it valuable. It doesn't make it significant. So horology, no. Horological significance, though. Okay? So we took horology, but let's talk about horological significance. Bulova went to space and actually was used because an Omega failed. Or at least that's how the story goes. Bulova's still not a luxury brand. Seiko produced the first quartz. Oh, well, Average Joe, AJ, quartzes aren't considered luxury. That's where I got you. Rolex, they have quartz watches. Omega, they have quartz watches. Breitling, they have quartz watches. Quartz can be considered luxury. So why would Seiko not be considered luxury? And if you guys want to say, well, there's the Grand Seiko.
What is a luxury timepiece? Well, I think of two things when I think of luxury timepieces. I think of Swiss made and I think of exclusivity. Swiss made because a lot of the luxury brands come out of Switzerland, like Rolex, Omega, Breitling, and others. And exclusivity because of the cost and the difficulty in acquiring these pieces, being $5,000, $10,000 and beyond. That makes them luxury pieces in my opinion.
Swiss made. There's a lot of watches out there. Rotary could be Swiss made. Invicta can be Swiss made. Movado is Swiss made, right? It has Swiss made on the bottom, doesn't make it a luxury piece. I think that's where that marketing is really what gets a lot of new watch enthusiasts. It really tricks them into the hobby. And I think that's probably one of the biggest misconceptions, is that Swiss made means luxury. The definition of what Swiss made is, if you take a look at it, and I'll put it here up on the screen, and this doesn't even necessarily even guarantee that you're getting a quality piece. Unfortunately, that's just not the case. There's a lot more that goes into what makes a quality watch than just the Swiss made indication. That's just the way it is, guys. I've heard of other things as well, such as celebrity endorsements. Well, Citizen has plenty of celebrity endorsements. Tissot has celebrity endorsements. So does Breitling, so does Omega. But Breitling and Omega are considered luxury. Just because a watch brand has a famous ambassador doesn't make it a luxury piece. It's that simple. So what is my definition of a luxury watch? Well, first and foremost, I believe that there is different levels of luxury. You've got entry level, you've got mid level, and you've got high-end luxury. I think what they all have in common is that they all are hand-produced, made by master watchmakers in Switzerland, and they either have in-house movements or in-house regulated or modified movements. The watches that are luxury to me depend upon what my household, what my finances can afford. And I have a pact with my wife that any purchase that goes above a certain threshold, we need to consult with the other person before making that purchase. That would fall under a luxury watch, luxury anything for that matter, if we were to go above that threshold. But the other things that I just mentioned previously would also need to be in play to be considered luxury to me. All right, so there you go. Everybody had a different definition. Sure, there were some similarities, but there was not one definition that was repeated twice. So, I would love to hear what you guys think down below. I would love for you to just put down the name of the person that you agreed with. Was it Average Joe? Or any of the other watch YouTubers' definitions? Simply put their name down below. And also, if you didn't agree with any of ours and you want to go off on your own, I would love to hear your definition down below. Thank you so much for watching, and always remember that there's always time to be kind to one another. Please take care of each other, and I'll see you guys next time on Average Joe Watch Reviews. God bless, my friends.